Welcome, one and all, to Squirrels and Robots, episode 38. Warner Brothers, what is wrong with you? Are they actually brothers, or is that some kind of marketing ploy? I have no idea. But what are you thinking? Oh, what'd I do? Apparently, they decided to make an animated Batman series geared towards preschoolers. Preschool? Oh, I'm not allowed to babysit anymore. Reasons. Preschool Batman? I mean, how's that gonna work? It's not like vigilantes are kid-friendly and all. Batman's parents were killed right in front of him when he was a kid. How are they gonna show that to children? Dude, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna teach them math or something? Hey, kids, 2 bullets plus 2 parents equals no parents. That's a strange kind of math. Well, it's kind of more of an inner-city math. I just don't see that working. I mean, how are you gonna make the Joker kid-friendly? I mean, not only are clowns creepy as fuck, but this one is particularly violent. They'll probably try to go the Lego route. Water it down to the point of being trash, and then when kids start getting into real Batman content, all the parents can all of a sudden get outraged about all the violence that has been in a well-established series for over 80 years in our pop culture, but somehow these parents just realized it's basically mature content filled with vigilantes and murderers. I want Heath Ledger's Joker in preschool. Hey, kids, let me show you how I got these scars. Yeah. Yo, it's a bad move, Warner, okay? Forget kids shows. Just make decent movies and games, okay? Thanks. Oh, yeah, and that Monster Hunter teaser trailer that they released sucked, okay? Don't get your hopes up. Oh, this has been kind of a slow week, though, hasn't it? Yeah, so slow we're probably going to go over the same shit that Fat Carrot talked about on Wednesday. So for those who watch that thing on Twitch on Wednesday, this will probably be a shorter, less drawn-out version of that stream. I don't like repeating myself. Yeah, but hey, blame a slow news cycle. I don't like repeating myself. I mean, we could go into politics, but we already covered clowns and preschool mentalities, so I think we'll move on. I don't like noodles. They're like worms with soy sauce. Oh, speaking of bad decisions, Marvel. Stop ruining Marvel by putting it in Fortnite. I know it's like, hey, let's get that growing gamer demographic, bro. Now, Marvel, it's Fortnite. And you already have enough money. Well, it's kind of a good time to bow out of the MCU, isn't it? I mean, they're making a Nick Fury series, and WandaVision, and what was it, Falcon and the Snowman, or whatever, Loki. I mean, do they really expect me to keep up with all these series? The movies, the games, the comics, and so on, just so I can keep up with some convoluted, the galaxies in parallel type story that inevitably gets solved with some superheroes punching the villain down with some crazy bombastic fight scene? We did that, mate. We good. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're overreaching with this multiverse crap. It's like we're right back to that mega franchise conversation where things just become so oversaturated that, you know what, we just stop caring. That was the one reason I stopped with superhero comics. Every comic was like this intertwined with everything, and I was like, well, money isn't free, so how can I keep up with 20 different titles all intertwined like a polyhedral pretzel? Impossible! Yeah, hey, Marvel. People can only afford to buy or watch so much, okay? Less is more. We all appreciated Marvel movies when they came out maybe twice a year. 6 times a year with multiple series that tie into comics and video games? That's a pass, okay? I don't have the time or financial resources to afford to care about what you create anymore, all right? And speaking of which, buy a shirt or support us on Patreon! That was kind of like a bit of an awkward segue into self-promotion, but, hey, at least you tried, Yeah, well, humans apparently need to eat food that hasn't been in the trash. And besides, Germaine is looking a little thin. I think that's because she's depressed, so she hasn't really been eating. Dude, she was depressed when she was fat, too. Hey, maybe we could have a fat fundraiser. If our Patreon reaches $1 billion, we can force-feed Germaine to be extra thick, like the internet likes. $1 billion? What? Too little? You have no concept of money, do you? Well, neither does the government, so why should I? Attention all! We shall make Germaine super jiggly for $1 billion! Dude, it's not gonna happen. You know, that would be an odd experiment, though. Like, you know how the internet is all weird and like, you know, okay, hypothetically, let's say we get a fat fundraiser going for an extra thick Germaine. Like, do you think that'll work? I mean, she likes eating junk food anyway, you know? I mean, and internet likes larger ladies and all that. Dude, if we raised $1 billion, we could get her ass implants and set up a booth where she just sits on people's faces. I would not like that. Yeah, but the internet would. But you know what? Whatever. It's not going to happen, so let's move on. I mean, we could get her all sorts of implants for $1 billion. Oh, wait, yeah, I'll settle for $1 million, maybe. Yeah, like $1 million, mate. Come on, jiggly G, $1 million. It's not gonna happen. If it did, would you do it? All right, here's the thing. If we made $1 million at any point in our career with the explicit goal of making a really fat Germaine doing weird stuff, okay, but we're not going to. Besides, she's already done a bunch of weird stuff, and she's been super fat, and we've done that for free. So, moving on. Yeah, but, I mean, you know, you can still support, just in case. Let's see. Jurassic World got delayed again. New James Bond movies delayed. The Batman delayed. And fucking Van Halen died. Mate, that was tragic. I had no idea he was even sick. The man was a legend. A legend! Ah! Yeah, we're definitely at that point in time where there's a distinct changing of the guard. So, everyone out there, you know what? Appreciate those legends while they're around, okay? Because they won't be forever, right? But, speaking of older legends, AC/DC is actually releasing a new album. Really? That's amazing! I thought they had like a rough spot there for a moment, didn't they? Oh, I'm glad they're making music now! Oh, I won't get my old ones to be like, oh, Mac! Yeah! Settle down, right? Sorry. Yeah, so, you know what? Here's the thing. There are still a few classic rock bands still making music. You got AC/DC. There's, dude, even Psychedelic Furs churned out an album in 2020. That is amazing to me. Because usually for me to get Psychedelic Fur, I have to take a lot of stuff. Alright, let's see. They're doing yet another Godzilla animated series for Netflix. Lumberjanes is getting a series as well. So that might be interesting, maybe. But personally, I'd rather have them adapt, what was it? Giant Days. But you know what? I haven't read too far into that series, so who knows if it turned into some woke pile of shit. New Mutants in 4K! Oh, yeah, see, that's a good one. The New Mutants movie that was delayed, allegedly reshot, then delayed again, then delayed, finally got released and died in the theaters, and will eventually end up on physical media, that being Blu-ray and 4K discs. That movie got delayed so much. Like, I mean, the cast have had birthdays passed before it reached the silver screen, mate. I'm gonna watch it when it's streaming. I'll watch it streaming. Oh, but Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and I think The Hobbit are getting 4K releases. This is both the theatrical versions and the extended cut in one boxed collection. But at $100, I'm gonna be holding off for a price drop. That is a lot of money. I heard a rumor. Black Widow is gonna be Morticia Addams in an Addams Family live-action movie thingy. But it's just a rumor. Wait, you mean Scarlett Johansson? Yes! Black Widow! As Morticia Addams? Yes! I heard it, and it was a rumor. Boy, that is some terrible casting! If that is true, I mean, I could barely watch her as Black Widow, man. I didn't like her in those Woody Allen films. I didn't like her. Okay, two roles I liked her in. Ghost World, alright? And Hitchcock. And even in the film Hitchcock, she had to play another actress. So it's like she had real world source material to draw from. It's not like she had to create her own persona or any... Whatever. I hate Hollywood. It's gonna be a hard pass for me, mate, if that's true. Yeah, when it comes to goth roles like that, you kinda wanna bring in someone who's kinda spooky and dark, okay? I've heard the name Christina, Ricci would be decent, and, you know, she was Wednesday Addams in the 90s versions of the film. Personally, I would like to look up Fairuza Balk, see what she's doing, see if she would fit the role, and maybe go with her. But I think she's actually a little bit too chaotic for that kind of refined Morticia Addams quality that people need, but maybe she can pull it off. Yeah, Fairuza Balk does have a very chaotic vibe, don't she? Yeah, but that's what's great. Who wants to be normal? I love chaos. Chaos is awesome. You know, now that I think of it, there really aren't a lot of dark actors out there anymore. I mean, everyone seems kind of like one-dimensional and kind of, you know, very try-hard, unfunny, you know, in my opinion. Hey, You want blood to shoot out of your eyes? Well, I am due for an eye checkup. Not you. There's a movie called My Summer as a Goth. You know what? Yeah. From what I've read, and I quote, My Summer as a Goth is a coming-of-age story about the sometimes painful, often entertaining, search for identity and love in adolescence. So, I'll assume some non-goth becomes a goth because they start crushing on someone who is goth, and before you know it, BAM! Black clothes, eyeliner, makeup, and all that crap. Then things will get awkward in whatever town they live in, and they inevitably realize the concept of goth is not for them, and they either cordially agree to separate and go on their separate paths, yet remain friends, or they both dive deeper into the goth subculture, living happily ever after in a dimly lit room. You all figured it out already, don't you? You know what? Coming-of-age stories only have so many variables and possible outcomes. So unless it turns into a battle royale-style bloodbath of who can be the most goth by the end, I probably won't be surprised with the film. And probably not emotionally moved either. Well, I mean, at least it's shedding some light on the goth genre, you know? Dude, the last thing the goth genre wants is light on it, okay? You got a good point there. There has been very few decent movies that involve goths for some reason. They always end up being a stereotype or just some kind of lame, watered-down version of. Yeah, there was a movie called Ep38 that was pretty decent. I remember that. Had a good soundtrack. Yes, the soundtrack was pretty decent. But other than that, there's not a lot that come to mind, which is sad, you know? I don't know. Whatever this film is, I hope it doesn't do to the goth genre what Twilight did to vampires, okay? Vampires used to be fun. Now they're not. Yeah. Hey, what happened to Josie? Oh, don't know, mate. It's like I tried turning her on and it just never happened. Begley has that problem with a lot of ladies. You what? I'm working on my double tundras and windows. It's double entendres and innuendo. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit crass, mate, but all right. I'll let you have that one. Yes! I'm head of my class. Alright, whatever. Let's wrap this up. Some last bits of news. The fat carrot. Why don't you just call him Pumpkin Guy? Pumpkins are just fat carrots. Anyway, the fat carrot is gonna try to do some more night streams relatively soon. He might change up the Wednesday day stream to be a night stream, but apparently everyone is so busy the schedules are difficult to change. The next few Neurotically Yours episodes you may want to pay attention to, because it leads up to another series that we've been working on featuring me and a bunch of new characters. Hooray! It may not happen. What else? Oh, everyone's supporting. Thank you. 2020 has sucked for everyone, and it's extremely appreciated that everyone who can has been continuing to help. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Good on you, mates. So, with that being said, one more thing. Halloween is going to be pretty different this year. So, I figure I would remind everyone to order Halloween candy early, just so it shows up in time, queue up a bunch of spooky movies, add them to your watch list, dim the lights, and just keep the hell away from society on October 31st! Also, the first 2 seasons of Neurotically Yours, the original series, are now up on Newgrounds. Complete! Yeah, that's right. While other platforms decided to delete our work, for unknown reasons, Newgrounds has made a cozy little home for it, and it's available for all to watch. We also posting spooky episodes this week. Yep, all the Halloween episodes that were removed from other platforms are rolling out this week as well. Boy, we still never got a straight answer from any platform that removed our work. I mean, it was there for a decade, right? It was there for a decade, okay? It's 10 years. It was fine, right? No one had a problem with it. People were making money off the ad revenue. Then all of a sudden, terms of service, community guidelines, I mean, no real warning either. No messages, just, oi, your content's gone, mate. It was considered fine for a decade. Dude, as frustrating as it is, I don't bother anymore. Fuck it, okay? I have given up on trying to figure out what platforms want. And frankly, I'm not here to gear my thoughts towards narrow-sighted, closed-minded, and emotionally dysfunctional platforms. I'm just gonna do what I do, and if it's an issue on particular platforms, it'll still be available on Newgrounds. I will say the cool thing about being around for so long is that you do realise you survived fairly well before certain platforms even came around. Honestly, we actually did better. It's really strange. We have, actually more people watching now, but making less money. How does that even work? We had less people back in the day, but made more money. What happened? Well, I don't know. I refuse to learn business for toilet paper I use does not come from the ATM. Alright, someone needs their meds. Again, thanks for supporting, get some candy, and keep away from people. And somebody reboot Josie! The fuck?